So, in a value creation process, there are several steps. First, and this is always something that will be repeated quite often, is understand the customer and his needs and wants. Second is to design value driven segments. Third is develop value propositions. The fourth, link your knowledge of the customer with your business strategy. 5, develop new products and services. 6, deliver customer value. And finally, measure and monitor customer satisfaction and ensure retention. Now, all these steps are something that is iterative. You have to keep going on and on in order to build a sustained, profitable enterprise. Now, customer satisfaction is a very key ingredient in all this, because if customers aren't happy, they are not satisfied, they are unlikely to stick with you, they won't be loyal, and therefore your business is likely to dry up. So, customer satisfaction really results from a subjective comparison of what a customer expected and what he thought he got. So, here it's mentioned as the comparison of expected and perceived attribute levels. Now, customer delight is one level higher. Many times customers get what they expected, so they are satisfied. But if also customers get something they didn't expect and they like what they got, then they are delighted. So, a true marketer, a very clever marketer, might be more successful if he succeeds in delighting the customer. So, exceeding the desired level really results in delight. Why are these important? Because unless you know and you monitor the customer satisfaction levels and see how you might be delighting them, you won't know really what to change, how to change, when to change, and therefore you are likely to suffer in the marketplace. So, monitoring and measuring customer satisfaction is vital. Delivering customer value is very important and is pivotal to a firm's continued success. Now, this value delivery system include all the experiences that a customer might have in getting aware of your product, in obtaining the product, in using the product, in finally disposing of the product, in maintaining the product. Now, value delivery network is really comprising all the moments of truth, so to speak, between a customer and the enterprise that is delivering that good or service. So, it is important for us to understand how to create, monitor and manage that value delivery network. So, in this you will find that it is a fairly cyclical process. This particular concept of the value management diagram is actually detailed more in the chapter on a CRM and is also called a customer lifecycle management process, which is how do you first ensure value discovery, how do you craft and maintain your value proposition, how do you deliver that value, and how do you finally retain that value, and then go on again to rediscovering the value, because as we know, markets evolve, customers evolve, and if we as companies don't evolve, we are dead. So, in order to understand this and to deliver that value, it's important we understand the value chain. Now, this is a fairly simple value chain, first propounded by Michael Porter many years ago, which says a company uses its assets and uses raw materials and inputs to create an offering, which it then delivers to the customer using various channels. So, therefore, this is the simplistic value chain, and typically this is how it is represented. There are various upstream activities, which are activities to do with inputs, raw material inputs, with equipment, with other kinds of services, all which are required by the company to create a product, and then the company uses intermediaries, dealers, distributors, for example, logistics companies, truckers and transport companies, or service companies like the customer support and service centers, in order to sell and to support the customer. Now, therefore, in a very traditional buyer-seller relationship, you had this kind of a scenario where you had all the senior management out here, you had functions, you had the key distribution, customer service, manufacturing, and really you had the selling department earlier, the selling department. Today most people like to call it the marketing department, even though it continues to perform a really selling function. And on the buyer side, again you had the buying or purchase department, the same kind of functions that you saw out here. Now what is the funny thing about the defining characteristic of this kind of a structure, which is all the interaction happened between the sales side of one organization and the purchase side of the other organization. The contact with the customer was essentially with the sales department. The rest of the organization got the information and its contact only via the sales department. But in today's world and in more modern, more marketing oriented organizations, you will find that every department, every function actually is aware of customer expectations, and the whole organization is aligned to meet the needs of the customer. This kind of awareness and orientation needs to permeate right through the organization if today's organizations have to be more successful. So there are various ways by which one can create a very successful marketing organization, and these are the 5 steps. First is the market sensing process, which is how do you collect market knowledge, customer intelligence, and then disseminate it within the organization so that people are more aware of such customer desires, needs, and the changing context, and therefore can help in creating a better value proposition. Second, the product launch process, which is researching, designing, and developing and launching high quality new products regularly so as to achieve the company's marketing objectives and well within the company's marketing budget. Third is acquiring customers. This is very important, especially in today's increasingly competitive context, which is how do you define your target market and prospect for new customers. Fourth is the customer relationship management process. People know today more and more that it is more easy to retain an existing customer than it is to acquire a new customer. So how does one go about getting and retaining and maintaining a relationship with your customers? This is what is very important today. And finally, how does one fulfill the entire delivery process, which is how do you receive, how do you approve orders, how do you ship it in time, and how do you realize payments. So there are various critical processes here, 5 of them, and each of them needs to be understood, needs to be refined, and needs to be monitored in order to create a successful marketing organization. So in all this, it's vital therefore to understand the various links in the supply chain right from input to final output and thereafter. So at a very simplistic level, you have the customer to whom things need to be delivered, and on the other side you have the supplier of various goods and services, and in between you have the enterprise which acts as the link. There are various packages people use, ERP, the enterprise resource planning package, or the CRM, the customer relationship management package, and also the supply chain management processes and packages. So there is a creation of value through a network of suppliers, partners, channels, and processes. So to sum up, organizations exist because they deliver a certain promised value to their customer through their products and services. And what is customer value? Customer value is the net of expected benefits of customers and the cost that is involved in acquiring the product or service. The benefits can be many: product benefits, brand or company benefits, functional or performance benefits, service benefits, and emotional or self-expressive benefits. Managing this value is essential for companies to succeed, and therefore understanding the value chain, improving the supply chain, managing the entire process is important for any organization to have lasting success and to be more marketing oriented.